Welcome to City of Keene in Focus. Thanks so much for listening. Hello, and welcome to our next episode of City of Keene in Focus. It's a beautiful Monday. I am Asa Kramer, and I am joined by our city manager, Elizabeth Furland, and our mayor, Jay Kahn. Hi, you two.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How's everyone doing today?
Greetings, Asa. As you say, it's a beautiful day in New England.
I know, we finally got some cool weather.
Yeah, someone shut the heat off.
I know. It was 49 degrees at my house this morning.
Refreshing.
So, council has been on their summer recess the last couple of weeks. I'm very excited to be joined by you two. Do you have anything specific that you'd like to talk about today?
Well, I want to first start with community night.
Yes, that is tomorrow.
Night. Yeah. On Marlborough Street will be all over the parking lot in front of the Keene Ice, the police department, and the public works facility. It's such a wonderful event, and usually we have a great turnout, so I'm hoping it's going to be a great turnout tomorrow night as well.
Yeah, it should be really fun. We're really focusing on the theme of Touch a Truck this year, so I think some of the departments are going to have some of their cool vehicles out that the kiddos can check out. They can climb in. I'm sure they'll be able to honk the horns. So it should be really fun.
And we give them food.
Yeah,
Public Works does a great job on the grill. They usually cook up burgers and dogs, and usually the police department's handing out ice cream. I mean, it's a great, great time for the family. And it's not just about fun. It's educational as well. There's a lot of conversations that happen, especially in the Blastos room, where we have departments who set up tables and talk about different initiatives and projects in their department and answer questions. And so it's really a great event. You'll be there, right, Mayor?
I will be there, and I think we'll be joined by many of the city councilors as well. As you say, Elizabeth, this is a community night, fun for people of all ages and food, and good opportunity for interaction with the council.
Yeah, and so this week we also have council meeting.
We are back.
Back on track Thursday night, and we have a pretty lengthy agenda. We have a couple public hearings, and then we take up several items that we discussed at the last FLP, which was several weeks ago now. So we have a few things on the agenda for Thursday night.
Part of that is zoning questions.
Yes.
Trying to update some of the zoning code. And I think it's going to be an interesting opportunity for community input. I know people are concerned and interested in talking about density and the amount of density and how we encourage more housing, but also recognize the interests of the established communities and residents. So I think it'll be a good conversation.
Yeah, it's always a delicate balance. The city's done a great job at really looking at ways of being creative to do the infill housing, create some additional densification, loosen up some of the parking requirements. But at the same time, you have concerns from neighborhoods that, well, what does that mean? What does that mean to my neighborhood? Will that create additional parking issues? And do we want this densification? And so I do think we're going to hear both sides of that at the public hearing. It should be a good night.
Indeed. And for folks who enjoyed the Keene Swamp Bat season, there is on display currently in the lobby of the City Hall the Fay Vincent, named after the former Major League commissioner for many years, who helped found the New England Collegiate Baseball League, which was recently won by the Keene Swamp Bats, the 2025 NECBL champions. And it's an opportunity for the council and the city to recognize the organization that puts the team together and provides a 40-game schedule for the city of Keene, and in this case, a 46-game season because they swept the 3 round-robin playoffs that they went through in order to win the championship. It's a remarkable season and a remarkable year for athletics in the city of Keene.
Yeah, we're really fortunate to have the Swamp Bats here. I love the trophy on display. in City Hall downstairs. Did you see it?
I know, it looks so cool. They really set up a nice podium for it. It's really, really cool.
Yeah. Mayor, how long is it there? Just for a couple days or?
For the week.
For the week.
Yep.
Great.
If folks want to join us for the city council meeting, we usually do those recognitions right at the front end of the meeting. So if you arrive a few minutes before 7 o'clock, beat the people who are about to testify on the public hearing for zoning questions. You can be in and out in about 15 minutes as we shower praise on Kevin Watterson and the entire Swamp Ad organization.
Yeah, it should be a good night to celebrate their success. So coming up next week, when we'll talk a little bit more about this, is we're actually on the FOP MSFI schedule. So we have actually a pretty lengthy MSFI. So MSFI, we've talked about before, is Municipal Services, Facilities, and Infrastructure Committee. It's a committee of the City Council made up of 5 council members. And we did not meet last month, so we have some items left over from last month that will move to this agenda. There's also some new items that are coming in as well. You know, one item we talked about previously is related to Church Street and on-street parking, some of the conflicts that have been happening at the Gathering Water School. There's an ordinance on this Thursday's council agenda to bring forward some changes to that street in terms of parking. It is as a result of the meetings and the conversations that we've had with that neighborhood. So we'll be discussing that because if the council refers it to committee, it'll be on the next MSFI meeting. And then we have a sculpture request that's been on more time for quite a while we talked about potential safety concerns with the sculpture was being proposed to be placed at the Pat Russell Park. We've been working with the individuals that brought it forward. I think it's going to be ready again to come back to committee, so that should be ready at the next meeting. And then we've had a couple of other things that have popped up in terms of concerns from the public. One of them is related to restrictions on the access road to the wastewater treatment plant. So first I want to say we've been talking about it as the airport road, and it's actually not airport road. It is beyond airport road, so it's beyond the airport. It is the access road to the wastewater treatment plant. It's not a city road. It's not a public right-of-way. It's a private road. It's the access road to that plant. So Public Works had concerns related to safety as it narrows as you approach the plant. We have some big trucks that are hauling throughout the day, and so they did put forward a restriction of access to that access road during operating hours. And so a lot of the members of the community around the airport are concerned about that. They have an interest in walking and photography. There's
Bird
a lot
watching,
of bird life out there. Yeah, there's a lot of bird activity out there. But anyways, it's a wonderful area, and it's got a lot of natural benefits. And so, you know, we've been talking about how do we make sure people are safe but still provide some access. And so we'll be hashing that out more over the upcoming couple of weeks. And we will also be ready to do another downtown infrastructure project update as well, where we will talk about the work that Stantec has done to update the costs and get the plans ready to put out to bid, because we have a vote of the council to put this out to bid in the fall, which, believe it or not, is just around the corner. So September, October timeframe. So we will be having that conversation and update as well at MSFI next week.
Yeah, I think MSFI is going to have a good public turnout for that meeting as well. I think there are people, not just from the Edgewood community that abuts the airport and the airport road, but others in the community who face some type of handicap and are looking for a fairly low volume trafficked area that is very flat because it is the airport area. It is groomed to be a very flat surface, and I think there is a desire of people to use it for recreational purposes that needs to be balanced with the safety that the city's staff is very concerned with. So.
Yeah, and also just to make sure that people understand, Airport Road is still accessible, walkable, not restricted, and it's quite long before you get to the actual point where it accesses the road to go into the wastewater treatment plant. Right. So there's lots of opportunity, and I'm sure there'll be lots of conversation as we sort it all out. And in the end, I'm sure, you know, there'll be a good solution. And, like everything else, we try something, and if it doesn't work, we try something else. Nothing's really written in stone, and so that's why it's important when we get public feedback, we work through it, and we see what else we can do.
And then we see the implications of
That's
some
right.
of our
Yeah.
actions.
Yep.
And I think the Church Street question fits into that category as well. As we try to adjust for safety on that street, there are some other fairly narrow streets in the older parts of Keene
Yes.
that if they are trafficked for heavy use in some part of the day, like a school that has drop-off and pick-up and kids walking on the sidewalks, it puts stress on those narrow streets with
Yes.
the sidewalks that are below the grade of the street. And so I think
Yeah.
I think we'll face not just the immediate question, but the longer-term question.
There's a couple more things I just want to mention. Unfortunately, last week in the community, we had an incident on West Street in the TD Bank parking lot, and that was a very difficult situation for everyone, everyone involved. And the state police was here and supported the work of our police department as well. Our local teams were out there, and it was a long day and a long night for everyone. And I am always very proud of the work that our team does. And we had on site there for hours and hours and hours, 3 negotiators that were there the whole time trying to resolve the issue and get the gentleman to come out of the car. And unfortunately, it was a sad ending, but I still want to recognize the work that they did because they did a great job. And it just so happened that our chief was away on vacation. And it's a testament to him that he has leadership in his command staff that are able to step right in and handle a situation like that. And Steve Tenney did just that. He did a great job. They deserve some recognition for that because that is not only a difficult situation to handle, it's also emotionally draining. And I think oftentimes people forget that police officers are people too. And while they're there to do their job and they're professional, those types of incidents do take a toll on people, including our police officers or our emergency personnel, our fire department that was there as well. So the public was kept safe. Everyone did a great job. I think that they worked really hard to get the best outcome of that situation. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get the gentleman to come from the car, but they do deserve some recognition just the same.
Public safety is one of our most fundamental roles of municipal government. Having a professional force is important, and for the community to have confidence in their performance is a tribute to them, and it's something that our community needs to appreciate. It's their taxpayers' funds being put to really good use.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, what other time of the year it is right now, right? You know what I'm about to say? It's time for elections.
I think I
That's
saw that one coming.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the 20th. Is it the first
Filing
day?
date begins August 20th, and it lasts a long time. It
Till
includes
September 9.
September 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there are people who are interested in running, by all means, stop by the city clerk's office. The entry fee is really low, $2 for a city council
And
registration. Residency is fundamental, and a registered voter in
That's
the
correct.
city of
Yes.
Keene.
Yeah.
Again, it's a pretty low bar
It's
for
a very low bar,
those
yeah.
who want to. But there are many other ways, by the way, of being active in your community and volunteering to work with the city. We do have 20 boards and commissions that are very active, staffed by city staff, so there's a shared burden of volunteerism together with professional staff leadership and follow through. But I encourage, if there are people in our community who want to fill out a statement of interest form, they can go on the city's website, look under government to boards and commissions. You can look up the definition of each board, its composition, its minutes, its agendas. And if you have an interest, please step forward and let us know. We've got slots that are open in most of our committees, so I welcome that. And I've taken a more active role in trying to meet the applicants to see if that they aren't coming with axes to grind, but in fact can be as unbiased as possible in hearing the matters that are coming before those boards and commissions.
Sometimes even if we don't have a vacancy, just filling out the form and letting us know you're interested and maybe there's something else that's not readily available that comes up later.
You know what I did this morning?
What did you do?
As you know, we have tried to initiate and have been successful in initiating with the Keene High School a Keene Mayor's Youth Council. We met all through the last academic year. I think we saw where we could make good use of our high school youth, and it was in the master plan project soliciting their input as focus groups on various topics.
Yeah, that's great.
They were very interested in the environment and in housing and in stabilizing services for underprivileged members of our community. Those inputs from our students, we want them to be adults in our community someday. So getting their active participation is key. They challenged me at the end of last academic year to not just be informing them of city government, but to actually identify some projects that they might work on. Columbus Day and Indigenous Peoples Day shared the same second Monday in October for recognition, but the state legislature and governor have now enacted a law that says, no, that second Monday in October is going to be Columbus Day. And so we don't want to give up on our Native American heritage that we have as a part of New England and this area, which led me this morning to go to the identified settlement of Native Americans to the backside of the Keene Middle School. It's a site that unearthed artifacts when the middle school was constructed. So there are markers back there. This is back behind the physical plant shed and the track down towards the Ashwillet River and wetlands that are behind the middle school. And there's a fairly well-groomed trail that has a walking planked surface so that you're not standing on squishy wetland ground, but it's very natural in its setting and very peaceful to observe wildlife and just enjoy a short and not too vigorous a walk with educational markings to describe the Native American settlement and what was found and the origins of that, which date back over 3,000 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. It's an untapped resource.
Yeah.
When I asked the students, some of the students about this, it's not an educational resource in our schools. It just seems like a missed opportunity to continue to inform the community of how far back our civilization dates.
That's amazing. You know, speaking of the youth students, our public works director and others from the city went to a meeting with the school and the Cheshire Career Center to talk about Career Day and how we might be able to participate. We need to start recruiting for our workforce, and we should be doing it right now at the high school. So they're talking about, I think it's in April sometime. They're still working out the details, but you'll see several departments participating in their career event this year and hopefully making some good connections.
That's great.
Yeah.
I know the middle school, too, is doing a Career Day. They engaged me this past year, and it was a great opportunity to talk about some of the businesses in our community and how important that multi-generational connection to our community is. Yeah, so I think that's a great idea for Public Works.
Fire's participating as well.
Oh, good.
Fire, Parks and Rec, Public Works, Police, HR. We've already got a lot of departments signed up, so I think we'll have good interaction. And we just finished our summer youth program, too. We had a summer youth student in our office upstairs helping us, and she did a great job. I really enjoy that every year. You know, they're interested in learning what do we actually do, understanding a little bit more about the government, and they are great help as well. So there's projects that they do for us, and we have students that are placed throughout the city and the different departments, and they're paid. They get actual money to come to work and do this program. And so, yeah, that just concluded as well.
And it's very much directed towards a specific age group. So if you've got students that are moving towards 14 and 15 years old, it is customized for that age group.
Yeah. And you know what? We have had success at, after students graduate, coming back and working for us. And they started in the youth summer program.
So cool.
Another thing we're talking about later this week is the nation's 250th anniversary of Independence Day, and the potential for the city of Keene to have a significant celebration, something that hopefully those younger people who 50 years from now, we'll face the nation's celebration of its 300th anniversary. We can
Wow,
look back
yeah.
and with a good memory of the 250th and say, yeah, we ought to continue
Yeah.
that tradition
Yeah.
in Keene.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that either of you would like to talk about before we wrap up today?
You know, citizen engagement is one of the priorities that I ran on. Yeah, I think the kinds of things that we're doing through celebrating recognitions of significant accomplishments of both people and organizations in our community, and delivering proclamations to as many groups that are celebrating their significant anniversaries in the community, like Savings Bank of Walpole or the Humane Society. This week we've got a recognition at Alumni Field of our first responders in the community, and the city will be represented with a proclamation before the police fire softball game
Yes.
that takes place later in the day on Sunday. Yeah, Sunday at Alumni Field, come on down.
yeah.
I know our rescue and public safety and fire personnel, they've all put time and effort into making this a family-friendly event for those first responders, but it's an opportunity for the community to come down and say thank you to all those folks that we talked about earlier that are keeping our community
Yeah,
safe.
Cheshire EMS as well. The
Yes.
county will be there.
Yes. Remember, 2 weekends from now, Music Fest
Oh,
Yes.
that's right.
on
Love
that
Music
Saturday.
Fest.
And on Saturday and Sunday, Art in the Park is going to be happening. And then we've got Labor Day
Yes.
as an extra bonus day for family and friends. But these are opportunities, again, to remind ourselves the strength of our community and to take advantage of those interactions that we create for people that come out and enjoy each other's company.
That's awesome. Lots of really great community events coming up. Well, if there's nothing else that either of you would like to talk about today, I think we'll wrap up. I hope everyone gets a chance to get out and enjoy this gorgeous weather, maybe at some of these upcoming community events, including Community Night tomorrow. And if there's nothing else, I think we will see you next time. Thanks for listening to City of Keene in Focus. We'll see you next time.